What is going on, my crazy 76er fanatics, guys? We are back with another daily pod after another Sixer dub. I want to thank all of the watchers, all the likers, all the commenters, and especially all of the subscribers. Guys, thank you for helping the conversation continue. Thank you for helping this channel grow and the conversation to flow. You guys mean so much. But one thing that means a lot to this Philadelphia 76er squad, the depth that this team has, is maybe the best depth this team has had since the Brett Brown years. I'm telling you guys, the truth is another Sixer dub gives us another close and a deeper dive at how good this team really is. A strength this team has got to be its guard play, has got to be its guard depth, guys. This is another example of why when I say this squad has the best guard combination in the NBA, I am not playing. You have Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and boom, Quentin Grimes, who was forced to resign, is now shooting that ball fine and twine every time he steps on the court. Quentin Grimes is knocking them down now, y'all. We had a first game of rust, but in Quentin Grimes, guys, Philadelphia fans are going to have to trust because he's one of the most important pieces, one of the most important players for this Sixer squad. The guy had 24 points off the bench. 24 points off the bench. 17 in the first half. Not only can Tyrese give you 30 to 40 whenever he's feeling that doggone good. Not only can Quentin Grimes find the twine when he shoots that ball, but VJ Edgecombe knows how to ball extremely well. Those are three guards that we've already seen. Three guards that we've already seen eclipse 20 points. And one thing about VJ Edgecombe, when I say that guard depth is one of the best, Tyrese Maxey plays point guard. He can pass the ball, get you a few assists. Little did I know that VJ Edgecombe may be an assister and a passing merchant that this team definitely needs and never knew it had, because VJ Edgecombe finished last night's game with 8 assists as well. At the end of the day, guys, there's no such thing as a surplus of riches if you know how to handle the goods, if you know how to handle the funds. There's no such thing as a surplus if you know how to get it done. Unfortunately, with the Sixers having VJ, Grimes, Maxey, and McCain sitting on the bench, you really got to question, will there be an odd man out? And who would that odd man potentially be? We will be talking about that when we get to that trade segment, guys. But we got to talk about how good this team looked after a dub. You got to say that VJ Edgecombe, who did not want to compare himself to his fellow classmate Con Knipple, VJ Edgecombe went on to say that comparison is the thief of joy. My main goal is to just go out there and win. I don't compare myself to no other draft pick or anything like that. VJ's not comparing himself, but gosh darn it, we sure will. VJ finished the game with 15, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists. Now, Con Knipple definitely heard the comparison questions. And because of a Brandon Miller injury, Con Knipple was given an extra look and a few extra minutes for sure. Con Knipple went 5 from 11 from the field, 3 from 6 from 3, and finished the game with 14. 3 rebounds and 1 assist. Now, if you compare those two games, kind of similar. Both in the teens, 1 point differentiating the two players, but the assists, the real contributions not only VJ had on the defensive end, in transition, but just facilitating and creating for others, guys. Tyrese Maxey led the team with 9 assists, and VJ Edgecombe, the 3rd overall pick, a rookie, was 2nd on the Sixers in assists for the night. And truthfully, he was tied for the 2nd most assists in the game with LaMelo Ball. So if we're comparing those two rookies, VJ Edgecombe is still looking like the precise pick at 3rd overall. VJ Edgecombe is still looking like the player that this team needs and needed. And the reason VJ Edgecombe is the player this team needs is because he fits the identity and the new culture that Nick Nurse, Tyrese Maxey, and this entire Sixer organization is trying to build. Sixer head coach Nick Nurse said, my main goal is when two people get up from their seats and they're walking out the building, they're saying, man, those guys played their asses off tonight. We didn't do that a year ago. That's what I'm striving for. And that's what this fan base deserves. And that's what this team is giving this fan base. So far, so good. This team is playing extremely hard. This team is playing with so much hustle, so much force, and so much energy. Plus, a different form of home court pride, guys. The Sixer fans may have given up on this Sixer team, but the Sixer players are trying to reel them back in. Kelly Oubre speaks on playing at home and the importance of protecting home court. Kelly Oubre went on to say, we want to protect home court each and every time we step foot on this floor. And the passion, the effort, the hustle, the energy, it's from top down, guys. You can even see it from Joel Embiid. Because Joel Embiid, who struggled in his first game, only scoring 4 points and truthfully looking terrible, getting up and down the court. Joel Embiid went on not only to say this, but to look doggone good while playing. Joel Embiid had this to say about the minutes restriction that could potentially be imposed on him. He said, the longer I sit, the shorter stints you play, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you got to get out. That's literally nothing. I might as well just stay home and be with my family. Longer stints, you're able to let the game come to you. And those longer stints is exactly what Joel Embiid did receive in this second game with Philadelphia. And at the home stint, he played again 20 minutes, just like Nick Nurse promised. He got 20 points, guys, in 20 minutes. And those stints were elongated, extended periods, like 8 minutes in the first quarter, like 6 minutes in the second quarter, like 5 minutes in the third quarter, and then he sat for the rest of the game, which is not bad at all because you got to see Joel Embiid get a flow, get comfortable, really figure out where his touches are going to come from, where he can pick his spots, where he should be taking his shots, and how to attack. He did seem a tad bit slower than before. I mean, that's going to happen after a knee surgery. You are going to lose a step or two. You may be moving behind the 8 ball a few times throughout the season. Joel Embiid's obviously not going to be as athletic as he was. With more knee surgeries comes less lift, comes less verticality, and definitely comes with a reduction in speed. But he looks good. He still looks good with that. When we go back and ask ourselves, what is the strength this team has? You got to look at the depth because you still have Joel Embiid who can score 20. I'm assuming Paul George still has 20 left in the tank. Jared McCain's got 20 for sure. Grimes, Maxey, McCain, we've talked about them. They're 20-point per game players if they need to be, want to be, and have to be. And then for some odd reason, the fans are doubting them, but Kelly Oubre has still got game. And Kelly could also be a production of 15 to 20 points per game. So when you talk about the strength of this team, it's got to be the depth. Because even when Joel Embiid doesn't look his best, this team is producing. This team is winning. The media went on to say, Joel Embiid, how do you feel that this team is looking good and maybe even looking better when you're not out there on the court? And Joel gave him a shrug, like, about daggone time. You got to think about it, guys. Joel Embiid is the only superstar when he would step off the court, his team would potentially be outscored by double. That is typical for when Joel Embiid was removed, or even when games when Joel Embiid wouldn't play. This team had a 5% win percentage when Joel Embiid wasn't playing. Now that you see what this team currently has, how they're currently flowing, how they're currently going, and when Joel Embiid isn't on the court, you kind of think they can handle the stints without Joel. You do believe that they can handle the games without Joel. And when Joel is on the court, guys, the roster and the lineup that they have is extremely dangerous. We're talking about 20-point per game players. This is their offensive lineup right now with Maxey, McCain, Grimes, Oubre, and Joel. This is what they have right now. Please take a second to insert Paul George in that Kelly Oubre spot. Or please take a second to insert Paul George in that VJ Edgecombe spot. Or even consider including Jared McCain, a knockdown three-point shooter, a better floor spacer, into this lineup instead of VJ Edgecombe. Or instead of Quentin Grimes. The interchangeability with these pieces is absolutely ridiculous. So ridiculous, guys, that you got to ask yourself, who will be traded? Because like I said earlier in the video, guys, there's no such thing as a surplus of riches if you know how to handle the goods, if you know how to handle the funds. But one thing I am noticing about this squad, for sure, guaranteed, everyone can't touch the ball. Everyone's not going to shoot it. And everyone is not going to reach their ceiling. Fans and people who have been on Twitter and some Sixer aficionados are considering a Jared McCain trade. Trading Jared McCain and moving for a potential another center, because the center depth is still not the best. Maybe securing another power forward, because the power forward depth isn't the best. I hate it, guys. Who will be traded? Rumors are, and rumors is that this team keeps playing the way they're playing. If Quentin Grimes is a 20-point player with real good defensive chops, because he can be relied on to get defensive stops. If Maxi's Maxi, if VJ Edgecombe is a third overall pick who's looking a lot better, a lot more ready, and a lot more, or have a lot more two-way ability than what a Jared McCain could bring, Jared McCain may be the odd man out. Jared McCain may be the odd man out and a tradable asset for Daryl Morey, who loves to get trade heavy, who loves to talk trades. The one reason I would never trade Jared McCain, he's under contract longer than this year. The one reason I don't like those conversations, guys, is because Quentin Grimes did resign, but he's on a one-year contract with a no-trade clause. So Quentin Grimes obviously can't be moved unless he would like to move. And with the way this team is playing and with the options and the opportunity this team is displaying to be given him, I don't see Quentin Grimes waiving that no-trade clause for any team anytime soon. So Jared McCain would be the most tradable asset, the most tradable piece of those four guards, and a potential star in the making out of those four guards too, which is why I don't want Jared McCain on the move. But if you are to get rid of one, you got to bring back some guys. If you're going to trade Jared McCain, you got to re-sign Malik Beasley. You can't get rid of floor spacing. You can't get rid of guaranteed shooting with questionable health that is this team's biggest problem every season. You're not sure who's going to be there in November. You're not sure who's going to be there in April. And you're not sure who's going to be able to make it throughout the entire season, November to April. You need more depth, guys. Depth is a strength this team has, and depth is something I'm concerned this team is going to not only neglect, but abuse and potentially mess up and screw up, because Daryl Morey loves to get trade happily. Hopefully Bob Myers can see the talent. Hopefully Bob Myers can see the vision, and hopefully Bob Myers can see this current roster construction and say, if you want to get rid of Joel Embiid, which may be something they're talking about, you're going to have to attach him with with a desirable asset. That's what Jared McCain could be. That's what Quentin Grimes could be. Who knows, who knows, who knows. But make sure you re-sign Malik Beasley, because don't you dare give up guaranteed shooting, guaranteed floor spacing, another 20-point player without getting you at least a knockdown three-point shooter in Malik Beasley. A Malik Beasley, Jared McCain trade with another acquisition, I mean, that's kind of a one-for-one. That's kind of a one-for-one, guys. And one thing I want you guys to do for sure is like, comment, and subscribe. Did you leave a comment? Leave a comment or two. Leave a comment or a few, guys, because we got more conversation for you. We'll be back with another daily pod tomorrow, but more dubs for the Sixers. Hopefully another one soon. Love you guys. Be back.